Ever since Root Beer Guy's off-screen death, which we get to see play out in his wife's dream this episode, and the amazing dedication to his memory at the end of Something Big, I had assumed that he would eventually come back to the show, but in the form of a remade clone a la James. I never expected for him to be resurrected by fluke into a zombie existence, but here we are. Of course, the central character of this episode was Cherry Cream Soda, who has since remarried Starchy, but never managed to move on emotionally from the loss of her first husband. The memory of Root Beer Guy continues to haunt her both in her dreams and waking life, and while we get the impression that Cherry Cream Soda is managing to maintain her career and her life, under the surface she is still in a fragile and vulnerable state. I mean, she did marry Starchy. The majority of candy people are, to put it politely, not of particularly high intelligence. The most current iteration of citizens have also had a fast-paced creation process and are subjugated into their predefined roles in society right from birth. Yes, social mobility does exist in the Candy Kingdom, and the candy people are capable of choosing their future path in life to an extent, but Princess Bubblegum has still initiated their lives with a purpose in mind and a mold to fill. The point I'm getting to is that these characteristics of candy people make it so sometimes their lives play out as hyperspeed and dumber equivalents to real human strifes and struggles. With Cherry Cream Soda though, not so much. She is not the norm when it comes to candy people. She comes off as confident, competent, and an intellectually sophisticated individual. Based on how the episode ends, I'd also conclude that she's emotionally sophisticated as well, though her grief has led her to make some poor decisions in regards to Starchy. Starchy, on the other hand, is one of these dumb and silly candies who amplifies realistic conflicts into fast-paced and overblown extravaganzas. Before the episode, we knew Starchy had some issues, but I did not expect him to be a straight-up douche canoe.
Look, baby. Starchy knows all the fresh widows in town, and Starchy chose you.
Seriously, Starchy, you're a real butt munch. I did enjoy how Starchy behaves semi-decently early in the episode though, but gradually his true character slips out. Although he is trying to rush Cherry Cream Soda through her grieving process, originally I thought he just doesn't comprehend prolonged grieving. Perhaps he actually doesn't, but as the episode goes on, that becomes beside the point. Starchy even has some endearing lines, such as,
"Now win your heart someday, Loafy."
But slightly sinister aspects of his character are still teased early on, such as the crude way Starchy refers to Root Beer Guy's remains. Speaking of Root Beer Guy, let me correct myself, Dirt Beer Guy. He is no saint himself. As he rampages through the house, he is utterly inconsiderate of his actions, and he doesn't even bother taking the mental state of Cherry Cream Soda into account. Yeah, the passage of time was undoubtedly a different experience for him, seeing as how he was dead, and he is struggling to come to terms with his former wife's remarriage, but it's certainly a horrible way to try to integrate back into her life. Unlike Starchy though, at least he realizes he is not being sensible, and he is capable of introspection, even if he is not entirely capable of coming to a conclusion. The subversion of a common trope was hilarious though, where Dirt Beer Guy attains the newfound energy and drive to chase after his dreams without even understanding what the revelation he is feeling is supposed to be. And of course, after Starchy's attempt to engage Dirt Beer Guy in mortal combat, it becomes immediately obvious who the bigger candy is, even if Dirt Beer Guy may not qualify as a candy anymore. So my feelings towards this episode were that I liked it quite a lot. Yeah, it was a bit soap opera-ish, and it relied quite on the number of common tropes, but it subverted a few of them, and when it didn't, it packed on the comedy and made me chuckle a lot. Upon realizing that Cherry Cream Soda is actually an incredibly competent and emotionally developed individual, which honestly is what manages to hold the whole episode together, I wasn't sure how the episode would continue to play out. That's because she basically ended up having to deal with 2 man-children after her heart. But hey, I guess those sorts of things can happen in real life, without the zombie component. I was satisfied with the ending as well, more so than I anticipated I'd be. There's acknowledgement that time and experiences make people different, and that the initial relationship of these 2 characters was built on a shaky foundation. There are clear parallels to events that can occur in real life, but the portrayal is taken to the most cartoonish and whimsical extreme without the meaning being lost. All in all, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this episode.